Hi, my name is Jessica James. I'm 32 and I'm struggling with infertility. My husband's 34. We've been trying to get pregnant for I think 17 months now. We started trying to have a baby in March of 2016. Obviously didn't happen. So we started going to a fertility specialist in March of this year, 2017. I've had one IUI that didn't work. Per my insurance, I have to have 6 failed IUIs before they'll do IVF. I was set up to have an IUI last month. I had to skip it because I had a scheduling conflict and I just could not get out of it. So I am set up to have another one, my second IUI, tomorrow. So here's hoping. I've made 2 other videos, and basically all this is just an outlet for me to talk about my feelings, the way that I feel, like no apologies. It's the way that I feel, and this is a good way for me to get those emotions out. And I made it public because, like, I looked online. I've watched fertility videos from couples who are struggling to get pregnant, and people just aren't not finding anything that really like speaks to me. And I think that's again because every situation is totally different. Everything is unique, everybody's insurance is different, everybody's cycles are different, what's causing your infertility is different, like the road your doctor takes is different. It's just, and I just felt like I needed to get my emotions out because I'm hitting a point where my husband is just absolutely sick and tired of me talking about it because nothing changes. It's me just saying the same. It's like a broken record over and over and over. There are people that I've kind of talked to. Here's the problem. It's like the only thing I talk about with people, and it makes people uncomfortable, and they really don't want to have a serious conversation like that. Like, I'm like hitting a point where I'm like telling strangers practically what's going on, that's bad. So I need to do this instead. I just did that. Like some newer colleagues of mine, like we went out for drinks, and that's just kind of what I started talking about, and then afterwards you're like that was a little much, you know what I mean? That's a lot for people. And it's a lot for me, but no, this can't happen. So I'm set up to get my IUI tomorrow. And this has been a process. Like, I feel like for the past like month I've been in like a really low point, like I'm feeling like there's no hope, I feel like I just can't get myself out of it. I just feel like really angry and really frustrated and really just pissed off at the world in general because this is stupid and this isn't something that I should have to be going through, but I am, and here we are. So I just want to kind of talk about like some of the things that are really like sticking out in my brain that have just been kind of frying me a little bit, I guess. Like, I think it all stemmed from when like I had to skip that second IUI, which sounds ridiculous because if I were on fire, like I would make that doctor's appointment, But long story short, I'm an independent contractor, and I did not write my doctor's appointment down in my planner. So when work became available, I looked at my planner, saw it was blank, and I took it. And you would think that I would just be able to say, hey, agency boss, I made a mistake and I actually can't take that work. That same agency, I work for 5. That same agency covered a job for me. The last job I had taken with them covered for me so that I could get an IUI. And I was like, I can't do this to them 2 jobs in a row. Like, they're going to stop using me, And I was like, I can't. I'm very new in my career, so I didn't want to cause any waves, So I was like, I'm just going to pay the piper and work. This was totally my mistake, and I just could not get my schedule to sync up with my doctor's office. So I was so mad at myself, and I was so upset and depressed, that I had to skip it because all the medication, like the Clomid that I'd been taking, that meant absolutely nothing. I took it for nothing. I put hormones in my body for no reason. I spent money for no reason for an appointment that I didn't even make. So there was that. There was my insurance is like my insurance like covers a lot, you know, so I really can't complain about that. But they are very strict with how all of this works. So if you're kind of new to this, like, because I've been learning a lot of stuff, that the day you start your period is cycle day 1. That's the day, like day 1. And so I call my doctor, and then you're supposed to have blood work done per my insurance day 2 or 3 of your cycle. I've been going because, of course, for the past 3 months in a row, I've started my period on Friday. And so that makes day 2 and 3 Saturday and Sunday, and my doctor's office is closed on Saturday and Sunday. So my insurance is like, we're not covering day 4 anymore, and you need to figure it out. Well, I'm sorry that my period is inconveniencing you. So my doctor gives me the number for like a local, it's kind of like a clinic. It's where people can get blood work and stuff done for various reasons, you know, like you're getting drug tested for a job or whatever. And so I guess they partner with them or contract with them. So they gave me their number. I call. It's automated because, you know, and I go through the whole system. I set up they had 1 appointment on Saturday. They had 1. And I was like, yes, like I will absolutely take this appointment. And I go to give them my phone number, and it's automated. And I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. And I go to say it again. I'm sorry, I'm experiencing technical difficulties. And then it kicked me out of the system, and I had to start all over. So then I call back, and I'm sorry, there are no available appointments. What? So I drove all the way to the place to see if I had my appointment. You know, like I set this up for this time, and I wanted to make sure that I'm in here, or that you have somebody. They obviously didn't have my name because I couldn't get that far, and they could not see anything other than that day's appointments. They can't look at appointments tomorrow or 2 days from now. They just can't do it. And they're like, but we accept walk-ins at 7. So I showed up at 7. I did get in, so I was thankful for that. So then, like, I don't hear anything. And finally Friday, like, I call my doctor's office because I'm like, hey, I just kind of want to see where we are. And they're like, oh, they never sent us your results. Of course not. So then they call me back, and they're like, hey, like, you're ovulating early. So can you come in right now? No, I work, you know, and that, yes, I will make this work. And I go in, I get the ultrasound, and they're like, we're doing an IUI on Monday, which is tomorrow. So that's really, really great. But it's like all of it. Oh, and that appointment on Monday. So like I told my husband, I was like, hey, I need you to take care of this. I need you to talk to the doctor and figure out what's going on and figure out what they need me to do. And the next time they need me to come in, but I want you to know that on Monday, I work. Okay. I work at 1. So like the earlier the appointment, the better. Like I've had like 7:15 appointments there. So I know they're open early. So I don't hear anything all day, and I'm still gone. So I call my doctor's office. Nobody calls me back. I text my husband, and he's like, oh, I talked to them. Well, that would have been really nice to know. And I was like, so what are we doing? And he's like, you have an appointment on Monday at noon. I work at 1. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I asked you to do one thing, which honestly is only the second thing he's ever had to do, because the only thing he had to do before that was give them a sample in a cup that they in turn gave to me, you know? I asked you to do one thing, and you set my appointment up for noon. Fine. So I will found a way to get out of that. My boss was really, really understanding, because like you kind of have to be, as much as you don't want to talk, you do. You want to talk about it with everybody, but you don't want to talk about it with everybody. But I had to tell my boss, you know what I mean? That if I'm going to continue taking work from you, you need to know that this is what's going on. And there will be days, if you want me to work early in the morning, there will be days where I'm not coming, because I'm not putting my family on hold for this. I'm just not. And very understanding. So it was covered, but even still, like, I'm missing work, you know, money that I need to pay for these appointments. It's just, so then I go home, and I'm like, you know, like, I just feel very frustrated. I feel very frustrated with all the hoops that I'm jumping through, like all the people that I have to contact and check and make sure that they're doing their job. And I shouldn't have to do that either. You know, I shouldn't have to call you and be like, where are my lab results? What am I doing? Like, did you send in my prescription? These are things I should not have to do on top of everything else. And it's all me. It's always my responsibility because it's my body. They're my appointments, you know? But it's so many hoops that you have to jump through, and it just gets so frustrating. So I go home and I want to talk to my husband, and he's like, it could always be worse. It's about to be worse for you right now, buddy. There are things just in general. That's something that you just don't say to somebody. It could always be worse. You're absolutely right. I could be on fire right now. I could be held up. I hope that doesn't happen. Like, I could be held up in my car, you know? There are a million things that can happen that can make life a lot worse. But in this time and in this moment, that is not what I need you to say to me right now. I don't need you to like, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. You don't do anything. You don't do anything. And normally he is like really, really supportive and really, really good. But I was just so angry. I'm angry that I get angry when you're like, it's not that big a deal. It could always be worse. And then when I like give you one task, one job, and you set up the appointment for the wrong time, you know, noon. I have never had an appointment there at noon. I haven't had anything ever before after 9. You know what I mean? So I was like, I almost feel like you did this on purpose. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't even know if I want our baby to have your sperm if you're this stupid. I don't know. It wasn't a very nice thing to say, but I was really, really angry. And he was like, I don't want you to diminish my contributions. He was like, I have to go into a room that I'm not comfortable. And I have to give them, he's like, and I have to masturbate in a cup. He's like, in an office. And he goes, and it can't be like too short a time, but it can't be too long, you know, and that's a lot of pressure for him. I will train you in a heartbeat. I have had so many vaginal ultrasounds, like I'm more comfortable with them than my husband. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm used to this. Let's go. And I was like, I've had my feet in more stirrups than a Texas cowboy. Like, there is no comparison. There's no comparison. So bottom line is that I've been very, very frustrated lately. And I don't know, like maybe if you out there in the world have experienced these same things, like you're just frustrated and you're angry because like you're on all these different hormones. I don't know what's me and what are hormones. I don't know. I'm like, am I being like extra bitchy just because I'm kind of bitchy? Or am I extra bitchy because like I've got a bunch of hormones coursing through my body and this is what's happening, you know? Like, I don't know. It's a lot. Like, I just had an Ovidrel shot, and if like that's a shot in your stomach, which causes like super ovulation to happen because I'm having my IUI tomorrow. So I had it at midnight last night, which is supposed to like make this better. And I'm like, it's pills and shots, and then I'm going to be put on progesterone and something else. And it's very overwhelming. I feel like it is the only thing that I think about ever. It is the only thing ever on my mind. It's the only thing that I talk about with people. I just left a baby shower. I just left a baby shower. Which was not actually as painful as I thought it would be. It just wasn't, and I don't know why. And maybe it's because like, I mean, I like the girl, obviously was invited, you know, but like we're not that close. Maybe that's why. But like when I was going and looking at all the stuff, like getting the stuff from her baby registry that I was buying, that I was just like, man, I can't wait for this to be me, you know? And for me, like it's my personality. I told my husband, I said, you are equal parts. Your optimism is equal parts endearing and frustrating. And if I'm being honest, I would much rather him be optimistic and positive, and this is going to happen, and this is going to be great, as opposed to like, babe, you're right, we should just give up right now. No, like, obviously, no. But I need to be negative. It's how I realistic / pessimistic. because I need to mentally prepare myself for a failure, for the fact that this isn't going to happen. Because if I'm like, this might be the time, oh my gosh, this might be the time, and then it doesn't work, then I'm even more devastated. And I can't do that. So I have to be, there's like a part of your heart that has to harden a little bit. But then they're like, but if you're stressed out, you know, you're not going to be able to conceive. I am a naturally stressed out person. I am a high strung person. My energy frightens people. That is true. I had a psychic who I'd never met in my whole life stop me. Like, two strangers stopped me and said that my energy was so powerful that it felt like it punched her in the face. I'm just a high strung person. It's who I am. I'm a worrier by nature. It's just what I do. I'm about as relaxed as I can possibly be, you know, for us to be me. And I look at, like, if you're in this boat too, there's just, you're willing to try almost anything, you know, and you're willing to believe almost anything. Because, like, there are people who are like, oh, essential oils worked for me. Or, you know, acupuncture. That's what did it. I found sacrificing a virgin between the ages of 14 and 16. That's really what did it, you know? And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing any of those things, you know? I don't check my, basal body temperature. I don't check that. And I don't know. I just feel like the more, I'm about as obsessed as a person can be. That anything else would be like over the top. That I really probably would start doing like blood sacrifices. And that just can't happen. So I have to just step back and say, okay, like, we need a lot of science and medicine, and we need a lot of faith. And that's about all we can do. I felt like there was like no direction in this video at all. I think because I had two other ones and I felt like maybe they were a little more like they followed kind of an arc. I don't know. And this one I've been feeling very overwhelmed and very stressed and very negative and very pessimistic, and I've really been struggling to get myself out of that hole. And I've been snapping at my husband, and I've been sharing my fertility journey, infertility journey with like practical strangers, you know. And it's just, it gets to be a lot. And I hope somewhere, I do and I don't, because it's not nice to say it, but I hope that like somebody out there is like struggling and is like a huge hot mess like I am right now. You know, that you're just like, ugh, I completely understand how you feel. Like, if I get invited to one more baby shower, you know, if I hear about how one more person got pregnant and didn't even try, you know, you just hit a button. Like, I feel like I'm at this point now, like I felt like I was just kind of depressed before, you know, I was sad before. Now I feel crazy, and I don't know, like, I don't know how to get out of that. I don't know what to do to make this better. I don't know. If you made it this far, thank you. I'm not like one of those other fancy, you know, the fertility videos that I saw, like they have music and graphics. Then I'm just a girl who is on her way to the grocery store, and I just felt like I needed to expel some emotion, so I'm just sitting in my car in 95-degree heat outside. But if you catch this, and if you're struggling with fertility too, and if you feel crazy or angry, or you're not proud of the person that you've been, and that I understand, I really do, and I'm here in this shitty boat right with you, know that you are not alone. You are not alone. So hopefully when I go tomorrow, hopefully it takes, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to try to calm down and be hopeful. and positive, you know, that this works out. So thank you for watching, and good luck. And always remember that you are not alone.